So day 95. As you can see, I'm cleaning out my work truck right now. Trying to stay more active. So, got the Washington visit this weekend. Like I said, I'm going to record more while we're up there. Now, his mom doesn't like social media, or really doesn't want him or her in any videos, which I already did, but so probably not a lot with them, but me and the girls definitely. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was something that I learned, and through research, because of stuff people were saying. So I did some research, and I got to tell you what I found actually also contradicted with what I previously thought. Because a lot of people say, well, a lot of your weight is genetics. Well, yes and no. The research that I found is your body shape can be genetic. You know, some people have wider hips, or a, you know, concave chest, or bigger thighs. That's true. But your actual fat content is not genetic. Shocker, right? Your genetics can play a role in how fast you gain and lose weight, but not in obesity in itself. So even though some people can be naturally bigger, it doesn't mean that they're genetically predispositioned to be naturally fatter. I thought it did mean that before, but apparently not. They've done a lot of studies and everything, and people who consistently stick with a calorie deficit, especially if they exercise, can become thin. Maybe not proportionately thin, but thin. So I just thought that was interesting, because I was like, well, I'm still losing, it's just a lot slower right now. So I was sitting there like, well, maybe this is just the size I'm naturally supposed to be, so I can't lose anymore. Bull. You can. Oh, here's another thing that I didn't know. You're on a weight loss journey and you start to get to a decently low weight for your height, or you've lost a lot. Remember, you'll have more energy, so you won't spend as much energy doing the things you would normally do, because you're lighter now and you're able to do more. So something that maybe used to take you burning, 500 calories to do, after you lost almost 100 pounds like I did, you may do the same thing and only burn 80 calories. So, which also means that your calorie requirement is less. So obviously you won't eventually piddle down to nothing, but when you hit a stall, it's good to have a recovery period, but where you eat at maintenance, or maybe even a little more than maintenance, maybe put back on a pound or two, let your metabolism stabilize. And then you can't just go back to the deficit you were before. You got to go a little lower, and you got to increase your activity. So I'm not going to binge or anything, but since I'm going up to Washington and it's kind of hard to eat super healthy when you're going around with your kid all weekend and everything, and I only have tomorrow and then we're getting on the plane, I'm not really going to count calories. I'm not going to binge. I'm not going to go overboard, but I'm pretty much just going to eat what I want until I get back. Then I'm going to hit it hard and break through that 223 barrier. But I thought that was really interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Oh, there was also research on there that said genetically, there was a couple of interesting things. Like after women have kids, it's much harder for them to lose weight in certain areas. specifically if they had a kid like in the last 2 or 3 years. It's genetically harder for black women than white women. It's harder for them to lose weight, especially in certain areas. Ironically, it's easier for black men to lose weight than white men. And there's all kinds of different things that I thought were fascinating. But just remember that if you get to a point and you're like, oh, maybe this is just my genetics, your body's shape is, your fat content is not. So I think that was really important to tell people. And again, you know, very important weight loss thing to keep in mind. As you get smaller and you have more energy, you will burn less calories doing the same activity. Because your body's getting used to it, it can do it easier, so it doesn't have to expend that much. So you have to either increase activity, which I'm going to start doing, my workout's going to start getting harder, or drastically reduce your calories even further. My calories are already pretty low, and like I said, I'm still losing, just very slow. I'm probably at like a half pound to a pound a week. I want to speed it back up, so when I get back, I'll probably be doing like some high intensity training or something. But yeah, I just thought those were interesting things that I found. Let me know if you guys heard of anything else that's kind of unusual. And I had another moment yesterday. I really went back and looked through my comments to kind of remotivate myself. I was feeling really depressed. So those who are here and comment, thank you so much. It really does help me. You know, I don't even know how depressed I would be without you guys, even though it's not a lot of people. It's still, you know, one person can make the difference, and it really has for me, especially my two most frequent commenters, Dieter and Marcel. I love you guys to death. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.